Welcome to the Friends in Business podcast with your hosts, Ben Wright and Jemimah Ashleigh. Ben, known as the sales strategist, and Jemimah, our resident visibility expert, are here to share their wealth of knowledge and experience with a little fun along the way. Whether you're a leader, entrepreneur, or aspiring business owner, this is the podcast where we share everything we know about business to help you succeed. Let's get started. Welcome to the Friends in Business podcast.
Hi everyone, hi Jemimah. Welcome back to episode 15, I think we are now. Wow, things are moving along quickly.
It is going well. We're all surprised.
Certainly are. Now, tell me.
That was actually a mean comment, and I was like, I just got so much love back.
Yeah, I just crossed it.
Ignoring me at this point, like, love it.
Tell me, how's your week been so far?
Really busy. Obviously up in Noosa at the moment. Lots of business events going on, a couple of networking events this week. How about you? Yeah,
actually, I am moving into something you just mentioned then, moving heavily into event season. It starts to get really big as we get to the back half of the year, but also I'm finding that I'm needing to gear up for a few key networking events that are coming up for me. So that's been a logistical challenge as I try to organise family around all of that. But at the same time, look, I mean, we're getting into a really nice time of year, so life is good. It's really hard. It's really hard not to be grateful for what I have. Yeah. So I'm very pleased. It's hard not to be grateful to have another session with you. We are twinning today.
Yeah, we really need to work on because I pack. I have to bring the clothes.
Yeah.
We should check this more.
Well, I wait until you come out for the podcast,
and then
I go and find something I can see that's really, really similar or make you feel really awkward. So. Success, job done.
It's surprisingly much cooler here than normally when I get to visit. So yeah, we're just doing a little matchy sweater, sweater besties.
Cool and windy. All right. So today's topic, we have spent a bit of time around networking very early in the podcast. We had an entire episode dedicated to it, but I think it's worth revisiting because 100%. I gave a structure around networking with intention, and it was all around having your mindset right and having a system and a process behind it. I think there's some softer skills around what to do and what not to do at networking events that are worth exploring a little bit. And I'll try and add some value to it. But I think today, this is your floor. This is you've got a ticket to the big show today.
My literal wheelhouse. Yeah, I love it.
So start turning that wheel.
Well, we met at a networking event, and we were very lucky that we had that opportunity. We met at a networking event, and we had a really good conversation, very attentive for the first 10 minutes, and then it was like, we should catch up again soon, and then there was actual follow-up. So for my background, for those who aren't aware, I have done a lot of networking. I've probably been to a minimum 2,000 networking events in the last couple of years, and a big reason for that is I worked for a networking group for a long time. Truly amazing. I got to meet so many incredible people, but today I really want to deep dive into the mistakes that I saw a lot. Because they were mistakes that ruined not only that person's opportunity in the room, but also that they just didn't recognize were mistakes. And just going, you have to remember, this is not a transactional environment. This is relationship building. Yeah. We wanted to really deep dive today into teaching people how to do it better. Why don't, as we look at those mistakes, I'll try and add some input around the upside, right?
Yeah. The yin to the yang there.
Yeah, I'd love to see and I'd also love to hear your experience as well, because obviously we talk about, but we often don't explore the points till we're in the podcast with each other.
Yeah.
I'd also love to hear your experiences with these, because I'd love to see if you've seen these issues that happen a lot.
Okay, great. Well, we're normally unscripted, but we're even more unscripted. And actually, for me, I think being able to talk through these topics unscripted is really important, because you get some realness through it, which means we're going to get the occasional blooper. So.
Wait for the Christmas reel that's coming. Our wonderful editor has been compiling those on my request every time. We're like, please look, have a reel for me.
Well, thankfully, I've actually deleted a lot of my bloopers. Okay, so over to you.
Great, amazing. The first one that I see is that people, number one, do not understand the event they're going to.
Right.
I see this all the time. People get there and go, hi, how are you? Sort of immediately just not understanding, turning up inappropriate clothing, was one I saw a lot because often it was quite early morning. Number 2 that I saw was immediately coming in there with non-business energy. I went to a business networking group and were coming in with wanting to sing Kumbaya and make a candle. Super common that I saw that, but please understand the room that you're walking into. There is a couple of rules of thumbs of this one. Number 1, if you're paying less than $20 or a free networking event, congratulations, you're at the Wild Wild West. You could get anything. You might get the best networking event, but I can guarantee you to that yin, you're getting the yang of the worst thing that you've ever been to.
Yeah, cool.
Have you been to a free networking event?
Plenty, and plenty I won't go to again.
Wild, right? It could be anything. The second thing is know that the more money that you're putting down, the higher quality for the person that's attending that event.
Right.
What's really important is if people are willing to put $60 to $70 on a table or a ticket, people are expecting high expectations from the owner as well, but also if lots of people are there, it's making money. As a very general rule, money's put on the table, you're going to have better time.
So they're generally going to be not necessarily higher caliber of person, but they're going to be more experienced or focused in the networking event.
And understanding the potential ROI being in that room.
Yeah, okay. ROI is a great way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
100%. Not understanding number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 mistake that I saw all the time was people trying to sell immediately. Hi.
Yeah.
Do you want to buy a house? Hi.
Yeah.
Do you have candles at home? Hi. Do you want to buy a car?
Yeah.
It's like it is 7:30, ma'am. I am not there. I don't know you. How are we here at 7 a.m.?
Yeah. Yeah. So and it didn't add any upside to your first one because I think you covered that. But this one here is so easy
to fix.
So easy to fix, and it all it takes is a couple of things. Number 1 is time.
Yeah.
So spend a bit of time getting to know the person. Show you care by actually saying, "How are you? Tell me about your day."
Yeah.
Find some common ground.
Hi. How are you? Lovely to meet you. How did you hear about this group? How long is this your first time being here?
Yeah.
What kind of line of work are you in?
Yeah.
What did you get for breakfast? Have you got a coffee? These are questions that I would ask on a daily basis and be like, are you interested in joining Isogenics? No, I'm not, Susan. Actually, thank you. Do you want a coffee or not? Because now I don't want to talk to you for the rest of the day. Now I've got 3 hours where I'm not going to.
And you quickly scurry away into the corner and you do anything but talk to Susan. So number 1 is time, and I think number 2 is to know what you're going to talk about when you're ready, when you will talk about it.
Sure.
If you have your pitch well versed, or your questions you're going to ask that are very much a business focused, well versed, then you don't nervously just blurt into them because you know that you're ready to go and they're there and they're waiting. It's that gift that's just sitting on the side that's going to present itself when the time's right. So
100%.
really easy to fix. But look, I think that's actually the biggest mistake people make is in fact they're shaking your hand asking you to sign the deal. Right, it just doesn't happen.
I don't know, like, or trust you. And the fact that you don't know that, those are the rules of sales.
Yeah.
That they're fundamental. For me to give you money, I have to know you. Sir, I don't know you. I'm literally shaking your hand. Right now, I don't like you. You have now ruined every additional opportunity you have to sell to me moving forward. Because I now no longer want to have a discussion with you because you're just seeing dollar signs above my head.
Yeah.
And I don't trust you because you have no interest in knowing, liking, or trusting me.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I like it. All right. What else?
Third thing I saw regularly was not being clear about even what you do. This is the thing I saw all the time is, what do you do? Oh, I'm in PR and I work in business and I work with everyone. And I'm like, I want to see some of these written down because they would be wild. Or just I work with people and we help get financial future sorted and make sure they have recurring revenue. And I work with everyone, mostly women, sometimes women. I also work with men. Kevin, sit down. And this is a fundamental issue I saw time and time again, generally from newer businesses coming through.
Yeah.
But generally around that 18-month mark, stuff starts to shift. I want to know what problem you solve.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know how you do it, but I want to know what you do, who you work with, and what you're currently working on.
Yeah. And I think, to be fair, this is a hard part. This is, for me, one of the hardest parts of networking is, and a lot of people don't know how to pitch what they do, and it's okay.
It's for sure, but distilling your entire business in of what you do, this is a very near impossible task. If you look at our businesses, Ben and I are like, give me one sentence. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And this is where you have to spend some time before. And I know we've talked about time before networking groups to think about it, but you have to know, as simple as my name is Jemimah Ashleigh. I'm the founder of the Visibility Lab. We specialize in helping entrepreneurs who are great at what they do step into the spotlight and get seen. We help them win awards, be on podcasts, and be in the media.
Yeah. And where I think it's okay to not be really clear on that, that's fine to be comfortable with it, but it's not okay to then continue to not be clear with it. Right? Once you recognise that you haven't nailed it, spend that time to get it right. I like that. Can you tell me again, what's the problem you solve?
Who you solve that problem for?
Who you solve that problem for?
And what are you currently working on?
And what are you currently working on? What's your problem to solve? Who do you solve that problem for? And what are you currently working on?
So my name is Jemimah Ashleigh. I'm the founder of the Visibility Lab. I'm the CEO, the founder, whatever you want to use there. Your name, what your business's name is, and I'll say what you help people with, what problem you solve. Yeah. And then you're saying what we're currently working on. We're helping people get on podcasts, and it's no one's going to give you that information. I think this is really important to back this up as well. No one's going to say, Ben, I've been thinking about your elevator pitch, and that's what you should say. What you can do, though, and we're great with this, please email us, have a conversation with us, send us a message about this. If you're stuck on this stuff, ask for help on it. Ask for people who go to networking groups a lot, because they've seen these mistakes 4 dozen times, I promise you.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
We're clear about it.
I like it. What else?
Number 4, not following up.
Oh, yeah.
Where to start?
Yeah.
I want to tell you a story that I've never told you before. And I was thinking about this as I was writing my little dot points today. And I thought, I did an experiment about this many years ago on another podcast I did, where I went to an event. This event was in Melbourne. It was at one of the CommBank rooms. It was huge. There were 500 to 600 business owners. And I took in 100 business cards. I left with 37. So I handed a lot of cards out. So 63 cards were left in that room, right?
Yeah.
20, so I can't do math here. I left 63 cards in the room.
Yeah.
And every single person. So this was the conversation. Hi, Ben. I'm Jemimah. How you going? What do you sell? Make something up for me.
Broad beans.
Do you know what? Oh, my gosh. It's so interesting that I am meeting you right now. I actually need to buy 500 kilos of broad beans. Every single person that I met on this day, I had this conversation. I needed my house recarpeted. I needed painting done. I wanted a nap plan. I wanted to buy a salt lamp. I was wanting candle glasses. You name it, I was buying whatever you were selling. Of those 63 people where I was like, call me, here is my card, I want you to tell me, and then we tracked real numbers of this. I had a spreadsheet going, it was wild. How many people emailed me back?
Well, I run at 35% of networking events for people that follow up. So it's not going to be more than that.
It was significantly lower. Of the 63 people, 3 people reached back out to me, not 1 person called. And I was like, please call me. I want to buy 500 kilos of broad beans from you tomorrow.
It's a lot of broad beans, Jemimah.
I owned a hospital at that point or something. I was saying anything to get these people. I am telling you, the amount of people who you've been given a hot lead and ignored it, crazy.
I'm sorry, I can't get past. You needed 500 kilos of broad beans for a hospital?
I do all the catering for every hospital.
Oh, wow.
I'm the catering manager for all hospitals.
And you own a hospital?
Also, yes.
Very diversified portfolio.
I own a catering company as well. So
no. I'm just trying to make sure I got away with saying that I sold broad beans and you didn't pick me up as being completely ridiculous.
Oh, but this is the point. So I'm telling the amount of people that don't follow up. This was an actual experiment I ran because I wanted to know what's the ROI here. Now I'm going to tell you that room was free to me to be in. That was a free room. I got a ticket to go to that. Yeah. But these people were selling legitimate products. If I do carpet cleaning, and I'm telling you, I suddenly own 50 houses that needed carpet cleaning.
Yeah. So
one person called me, and they didn't really call me about the thing that I wanted to buy.
So the yin to the yang here is that whenever you finish up with networking events, do your follow up. So the first thing you do is put them into CRM.
Yes.
Add them in through social media.
Yes.
Right. You write yourself. Make sure the CRM's got a task written in there for you to follow up that person. Right. Just build that momentum. Because as soon as you do the first little pieces post the networking event, everything else will follow.
We talked about this 42 days. Someone will forget you.
Yeah.
You will at that second have no idea. Final thing, number 5. just seeing the people as potential sales.
Right.
One of the biggest mistakes that I saw was people trying to sell to me, and I'd be like, oh, thank you, I actually don't need social media, and they would walk off. And I would just think, but all my clients do.
Mm.
And I just kept thinking the amount of the times that people burnt relationships because they didn't get that immediate $500 sale, not recognizing there was a $50,000 one potentially behind the scenes if we continued that conversation.
Yeah, so it's almost that you are leaving a conversation too early before you flesh out what could happen.
But just also establishing that it doesn't have to be a sale, that every time you go into a networking room, you need to be looking at what relationships can I build here? Are they a potential referral partner? Are they a potential client? Are they someone that will go into the CRM and become one later? They might not be able to use me right now, but maybe in years to come. And just seeing it so transactional.
Yeah. So that's actually all about preparing for your event and knowing exactly what you want to get out. So I want to actually add one. Do you mind if I add one to that?
Here we go. Oh, right. Breaking the rule of 3 and 5. Here we go.
No, it's 2 episodes anyway.
Let's go to 6.
By the way, last episode you mentioned storytelling a couple of times today. Last episode 14, was about storytelling. I would really encourage you to listen to that before you go to your next networking event. But so number 6 here for me is that people spend too long in a conversation. So they go to a networking event, they find someone they know, right? Or they meet the first person they can through that networking event because they're nervous, and they sit with them for the whole rest of the event, right? Networking is speed dating.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, you're there to meet as many people as you can. Now, that said, sometimes you will go to a networking event and you know there will only be one person that you need to meet, and it's worth spending the entire event just to build a relationship with them, particularly when you get to higher transaction value sales. That's perfectly fine. But for the most part, networking is about meeting multiple people. So need to be able to have that strategy that has the conversation, builds a connection, and exits the conversation so you can talk to others. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of strategies here to do that. And I definitely get laughed at this. I'm always eating, I'm always hungry. And when I go to networking events with my friends or any events where it's food, I always say to the people, have a circle, but one side of the circle is open. And they look at me and go, you're an idiot. You just want to welcome the food in. And I'm like, yeah, I want to make sure when that platter goes past, that they come in through us and we're not a closed circle. So we miss out on our sausage roll or our pie or our prawn gyoza. The only place I eat prawn gyoza is when I go to a networking event. The same thing goes for when you're talking with people. Have an open circle that welcomes others in. And if you bring people into your conversation, you're not spending too long with one person. So that's number 1. Welcome people in. Number 2.
And really simple. Like what I love about that is not like, oh, we're in this one conversation. Even now, we're sort of welcoming everyone else in on video. But when you're in that one-on-one, that's a very blocked conversation. And humans, 85% of what we read is through body language.
So bring people into the conversation. In fact, story here, my first job, problem I had is I wasn't getting cut through in interviews, right? And it was making me feel as if I wasn't going to get a job. So what I actually did is the next interview I went to, is it was a round table. We had a number of people in it. I tried to bring every person into that conversation because I wanted the outcome that everyone felt like I engaged with them and I built a relationship.
Right, love that.
I got that job, and the feedback I had as to why I got that job was because I brought others into the conversation.
Right.
So when you bring others in, it's very powerful. By the way, I just used the storytelling framework from episode 14 in telling that story. So please get back and let's do it. Second piece is, know how to exit gracefully, and I often will do that by putting the exit on someone else. And that says, you know what, I've taken up heaps of your time tonight. I'm really grateful. I can't wait to talk with you soon, but I want to make sure you meet lots of other fabulous people. And what comes out of that is you're either both together, then go to the next conversation, right? Or you naturally move separately, right? So, and you can do that, and that's all about them. Right now, yes, of course, it's about you too, but genuinely. And if you say this genuinely and you do want them to meet other people, then you leave the conversation feeling really good about yourself, and so does the other side. So there you go. I'm sorry to add one in, but I love that. That's a good one.
Do I need to add more? No, kidding, I won't do that. All right, so let's go through those again. Number 1, people don't understand you. Understand the event you're going to. Like, you just need to understand the type of event you're going to and understand that there are different qualities in events.
Yeah.
There is a different quality of event, and also the expectations you should have in said room.
Yeah.
I think is really important.
Yeah.
Number 2, selling immediately. Just really remember you're there to build that know, like, and trust in those relationships. Selling will naturally happen. It does, but you have to build the know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And if you try to sell immediately, really dangerous, really detrimental actually to the long term of what you're trying to do. And almost like you get like other people like, be careful of them. They're just going to try to sell to you. It's very, very mindful of that. Not third one is not being clear in your elevator pitch of what you do, what problem you solve. And again, we keep talking about storytelling thing. These are really so closely related. The storytelling podcast from the last episode that we did, I would recommend going to listen to if you're having trouble with that elevator pitch and understanding how to do that. And you might not have a great one right now, but it's your responsibility to get another one. For not following up, goodness gracious, people just leaving it be in the world of what it is. And number 5, just seeing dollar signs when you're looking for that. Look for the referral partners, look for the other people, build those relationships. I think because ultimately networking is about changing those relationships. We wouldn't be sitting here if we hadn't had one conversation if I'd walked up or you had walked up and tried to sell to each other, we're not doing this right now.
Yeah. Great.
And your tip was, and your number 6 was?
Number 6 is don't spend too long in conversation.
Absolutely.
Get out, get around. You need to welcome in people to the conversation and, of course, the hors d'oeuvres. But make sure people are welcome and you're not spending too long. All right, your number 1 from today.
Number 1 from today is probably something incidentally said was the build the know, like, and trust. This is a relationship building exercise. That's what you're there to do. Their sales will happen inadvertently, but you can't be the fundamental, the forefront. People can see it, they can smell it, and it will immediately do the complete opposite of what you're trying to do. You're in there to be known, your name represented, you have to be known, you have to be liked, and people have to trust you.
Yeah, great.
What about you?
I'm exactly the same. Invest in the relationship.
Yes.
It may take a little bit of time, but you can start it and that networking piece. Because if we go in with that mindset that we're going to build relationships, we'll be successful.
Yes.
So, but importantly, as we finish up today, we're there to build business relationships.
Yes.
If we go in with the mindset that it's just about friendships and making friends, that's not necessarily going to work either, right? So know what you need from your business relationship. But where you want to make friends, you come to us because we're your friends in business. We've loved every moment. Jemimah is cringing again.
I just think these are so terrible and it's the worst dad jokes and I so love them every time because every podcast, Ben, you say something and I go, where is he? Oh, that's where he's going with it. Yeah.
Excellent.
10 out of 10 for the sign off.
See you next week, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
I've been tried and you know I've been tested.
Thank you for listening to the Friends in Business podcast. This episode was brought to you by your hosts, Ben Wright and Jemimah Ashleigh, recorded in beautiful Noosa, Queensland. For more insights and resources, visit Ben at strongersalesteams.com and Jemimah at jemimahashleigh.com. If today's podcast has helped you, we'd be so grateful if you could leave a review and share with someone you know. This will help more people in the world benefit from the hard work we're putting in to bring you the best content we possibly can.